they're curious. Yes, yes, they're kind of a bit different. So what we could do, if it's all right with you, we could finish off number 7. We just have idiomatic expression. Okay, someone wrote to me because, you know, the assessment test, there was a section on idiomatic expressions. Well, idiomatic expressions are difficult because there is no, I mean, it's nothing to be understood. Either you know them or you don't. Unfortunately, I always try with my students to teach idiomatic expressions because English is a highly idiomatic language. There are idiomatic expressions, then phrasal verbs are idiomatic as well. So it's putting everything together. You're talking to someone from England, from America, from an English-speaking country, and very, very often, if they're not used to talking to foreign people, they come up with idiomatic expressions, and you understand the words, but you don't understand the meaning. So we keep on doing them, and we can do them once, twice, 3 times, and then you will remember. It's enough if, okay, today we're doing something like 10, 11. It's enough if you remember a couple and start using them. Then pay attention, because this is something which happens very often. You read something, tonight we're doing something, we're studying some idiomatic expressions, and you might come across the same idiomatic expression tomorrow. It's something which happens very often. You know, we see something new tonight and tomorrow you come across it. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to open my stuff and then share. Okay, this one I can close it, and all right. Okay. Right. Okay. I think I got everything. So this is part 2. So last time we listened to this part. I'm going to play it again, so just to refresh your memory, because you see we have all these expressions and I'm going to revise them. Okay, so this is the correct version, which I sent to you last on Sunday, I think, and just listen again. Okay.
Changed the way we speak English.
Let's see.
William Shakespeare used more than 20...
It's a bit too... Wait, I'll turn it up. Just tell me if you can hear it now.
...thousand words in his plays and poems. William Shakespeare used more than 20,000 words in his plays and poems, and his works provide the first recorded use of over 1,700 words in the English language. It's believed that he may have invented or introduced many of these words himself, often by combining words, changing nouns into verbs, adding prefixes or suffixes, and so on. Some words stuck around and some didn't. Some examples: assassination, bedazzled, cold-blooded, dwindle, fashionable, rant, gossip, and lonely. In addition to new words, Shakespeare also gave birth to numerous idiomatic expressions that are still used regularly. His plays are rich with phrases that convey complex emotions and ideas in a concise way, and many of these expressions have become ingrained in the English language. A foregone conclusion, meaning an inevitable outcome from Othello. All that glitters is not gold. Something that appears valuable may not actually be so, from The Merchant of Venice. A blinking idiot, meaning a fool, again, The Merchant of Venice. I have not slept one wink. I did not sleep at all, Cymbeline. In a pickle, meaning be in a difficult or troublesome situation, from The Tempest. Brave New World, used ironically to refer to a new hopeful period, from The Tempest. To be or not to be, that is the question. The most famous soliloquy in the works of Shakespeare, quite possibly the most famous soliloquy in literature. Flexible word order. Shakespeare's works demonstrate a flexible approach to word order, which was common in early modern English, but has since evolved. He often rearranged the conventional subject-verb-object structure to achieve dramatic or poetic effects. This flexibility allowed Shakespeare to experiment with language and create rhythm, rhyme, and emphasis. Expanding the use of metaphor. Shakespeare's extensive use of metaphor was revolutionary. For instance, in Julius Caesar, 1599, Shakespeare famously wrote, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves." This metaphorical use of stars became a common expression to refer to fate and destiny.
Okay, now we can go and have a look at, do you know the meaning of the following words or expressions that Shakespeare either invented or helped popular? Of course, some of these words were already around, but maybe they weren't used as often, or they weren't very common. And Shakespeare helped, okay? So let's see. To be all and end all, from Macbeth. Do you think is the most important thing or the ultimate aim in a situation, an unforeseen and a planned event or circumstance, or a poor urban area? Okay, everybody's saying A, and it is. It's common. You might hear it, and you might come across it, and it is the most important thing, the ultimate aim in a situation. Okay, for the poor urban area, you could call it a low income area. Low income area. Slum, remember that slum, it's a bit of a disaster area, because in a slum, building starts being dilapidated, falling to bits, and there is real poverty. Well, a poor urban area could just be low income and kind of normal, more normal than a slum, okay? And the second one is a nice or the tale of the shrew. Everybody is saying so. Something ugly or unpleasant to look at. Yes. For example, a new building in a city which stands out because it's really ugly to look at, or you have something nicely organized and etc., and there is something particularly ugly which stands out, and un pugno in un occhio, exactly. Do you know an expression is something to do with I, a personal thing that one is extremely pleased or relieved to see. For example, you are in a situation and you are a bit upset, and you see someone and you are so pleased because this person is sort of helping, arrives at the right moment, at the right time. And how would you call it in English? There is an expression to do with I. You can say, oh, you are a sight for sore eyes. Okay, let's put it here, and I'll move it here. A sight for sore eyes. Oh gosh, I'm so pleased to see you. I really needed to see a friendly face, and this is what you would say to this person. Sore is something which is inflamed, a sore eye. In Italian, we would call it conjunctivitis. Okay, you know that English people, when it comes to technical words, technical medical words, exactly, sore throat and sore eyes. Very often, instead of using the technical word, they just use very familiar words. The Italians are more prone to go to the doctor and say, doctor, I got conjunctivitis and pharyngitis and all. But these are technical medical terms. They're not used usually in a sort of familiar way, the way the Italians do. And so if you got conjunctivitis, you go to the doctor and you say, I got a sore eye, and then the doctor can talk about conjunctivitis, but usually it's not the patient, okay? And the same with sore throat. So a sight for sore eye is a personal thing that one is extremely pleased or relieved to see. And do you know what shrew is? The Taming of the Shrew. A shrew is a very bad-tempered woman. That's the meaning. It's a bad-tempered woman. Yeah, sort of bisbetica. In Italian, it's la bisbetica domata, because you tame animals. They're wild. You tame the animal and it becomes domesticated. Okay. Shrew is a bad-tempered woman. Also, a small animal looks a bit like a mouse. Okay. And so, but this is the bad-tempered woman. Then we have number 3. Number 3 is good riddance. Okay. Is it something you say when you don't know the answer to a question? An expression of relief as someone saw something departure? Very good. It's not a rude way of telling somebody that they are annoying and etc. So it's this one. Well, do you know where it comes from? It comes from to get rid of something. If you get rid of something, yes, very good, Sabina. You eliminate it. So, good riddance. Thank God you're gone. What about something you say when you don't know the answer to a question? Do you know an expression? Not a clue. Very good. Not a clue is good. Or you can say your guess is as good as mine. I have no clue. Yes. I haven't got a clue. I have no clue. While see, if you want a rude way of telling someone to go away, yeah, that's to stop talking. Yes, off you go is okay. Off you go is quite okay. Get out of my sight. Vanish. Yes, back off. Yeah, very good. And we got to number 4. Number 4, Othello. So, wear your heart on your sleeve. If you wear your heart on your sleeve, what do you do? Let me see. Nicolette is saying A, and everybody else is saying A. Openly display your emotions. Yes. That's it. It is. Of course, if you can, everybody can see it. So if you wear it on your sleeve, and so you do show you openly display your emotions and feelings. Instead, if you are very secretive, or you can be reticent, or tight-lipped. This could be another idea. This one is a demonstrator. Okay, Windsor. Laughing stock. Is it a wealthy power person in business or industry, or someone who is the object of ridicule or mockery, or a homeless person who travels from place to place on foot? Okay, it is. You see, mockery, for example, sometimes, I don't know whether you ever come across mock test. Do you know what a mock test is? A mock test is a fake test, yes. Not so much in it. Let's take the example, the advanced, the C1 test, the Cambridge. I create a test which is similar to the test I will be giving you. I give it to you because it's a mock test, so you can practice, okay? In Italian you say una simulazione. It's if you mock someone, you do ridicule people very often by imitating them and laughing at these people, at the people, okay? Because with mocking there is something called a mockingbird. I can't remember. The mockingbird is, I think it's Lupupa. E fare il verso, very good, Viviana. It's not a parrot. A mockingbird, I think, is Lupupa. I think what the mockingbird does is imitates the singing of other birds so that it can go and steal their nest or something. No, that's parrot. Even in English, you say you are a parrot because you repeat. Mocking, remember, there is always the idea of ridiculing people. You imitate, but in a bad way. Okay? Il tordo americano. Very. I know that mockingbird is called because this mockingbird can imitate the sbeffeggiare, maybe la ghiandaia. I've no idea. I'll check it and I'll tell you. Well, how do you call a homeless person who travels from place to place on foot? And, sometimes you find them in the station, they sleep rough days. Okay. Tramp. Yeah. Then we go to number 6. Number 6 is in stitches. 12 nights. Laughing very hard to the point that one cannot control it. Be crying intensely with a large amount of tears, or be severely and widely bruised. Yeah. If something is side splitting, equal, very, very funny. Okay, let's put a comma. So laughing very hard, you are in stitches. You cannot control it. If you find something side splitting, means very, very funny, because you laugh so hard that you bend and is side splitting. Sbellicarsi dalle risate, very good. And when you cry a lot, there is an expression, really, really a lot. Tears streaming down your eyes. How would you call that? You are to be, yes, in floods of tears. Yep, crying, or also to be in floods of tears. And okay, and if you're bruised all over, my old students should know, it's got to do with colors. You are black and blue all over. Okay. So I'll get the black as well. If you're black and blue all over, you're covered in bruises. Okay. If you cry a lot, really a lot, you are in floods of tears. Or you cry your eyes out. Crying your eyes out. It's another. They're all expressions. I told you that English is a very, very idiomatic language. And now we got to number 7. Number 7 says The apple of my eye is, so let me see. Very good. So it is, see, a person or a thing that one cherishes the most. Well, the Queen and Andrew. Andrew was the Queen's, the apple of the Queen's eye. Okay. Instead, what about this one? Somebody who uses excessive flattery to gain favor from a person in authority. Very good, Nicoletta. Yes, the person is called brown noser, and it's not, apparently it's not vulgar. You can use it. It's colloquial. Brown noser. To brown nose is to flatter. Brown noser is the person. For this one, I think we have the same in Italian. A thorn in one's side. Una spina nel fianco. Okay, so brown noser is someone who flatters, trying to gain favors. All right, and then we got another 3 or 4 actually. If you lie low, okay, much ado about nothing. Ado means fuss, okay. So someone says B, B, everybody's saying B. So if you lie low, you keep a low profile. You try to be inconspicuous. And instead, how do you say, very colloquial, how do you say to someone, lower your head? Otherwise, for example, I'm trying to shoot and I have to warn you there is someone shooting at you. How do I say lower your head? Very good, Roberto. Duck. Duck means lower your head because something is going to happen, and if you want to avoid it, you better lower your head. And you say duck. What do you say when you say goodbye to someone? You say goodbye, bye-bye. Very often you say take care. So we got all this, and this is B, is you lie low. You keep a low profile. Right, send someone packing. Henry IV. So you ask someone to leave immediately, you ask someone to get your luggage, or you hire a professional removal service. There, yeah, it is a. If you say, oh, someone was bothering me and I sent him packing, means I asked this person to leave immediately, go away, please. And we nearly finished. A pound of flesh, Merchant of Venice. Is it something bought for less than the price? Everybody's saying. Okay, Federica didn't understand the duck. Duck, it's used as a verb, usually in imperative. For example, war. People are actually shooting, okay? Someone shouts duck. Duck means lower your head, go down on your knees, go down on the floor, because something is going to happen to you if you stand up. Stai giù con la testa, abbassa la testa. Is this clear? It's just a warning. Usually it's used as a warning, and you just shout duck, and you can try if you have English American or English speakers and you walk into a room and you shout duck, everybody will go down on the floor. You can try and see what happens. Okay. Okay. We back to the pound of flesh. The pound of flesh, it's, you said see. And something that is once legal right, but is unreasonable, because of course a pound of flesh being what is attached to your body is not, for example, okay, you know that we have meat is what you eat. Flesh is still, you're still alive, it's still attached to your body. And so a pound of flesh is a bit too much. So it's unreasonable. And the last one, not budge an inch. Stand your ground, refuse to give in, not change your opinion. Good. C A. Definitely C. You don't budge an inch. Definitely A. You stand your ground. Yes, and perhaps all of them definitely refuse to give in. Yeah, they're all correct, because if you refuse to give in, you refuse to give up. You don't. You stand your ground, and if you stand your ground, you don't change your position and opinion, and you don't budge an inch. So they can all be used. And I think I've told you everything I had to tell you here. Okay, yes. I got some more. I can add them when I send you the notes. I can add a few more idiomatic expressions. They're always good to know. But you can start with this one. There are quite a few, and try to use also the others. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and it's going to be for you. So now, would you like to do a little bit of the heroes and the villains, and then the grammar explanation, or the grammar explanation so you fall asleep, and yeah. Here's some villains. Okay, grammar. Yeah, okay, I'll squeeze. Okay, remember that grammar is important. It's important if you know it's there, but the most important thing is listen to people, repeat what they say. Then knowing rules is something, okay, you know that the rule is there, but while you're talking, when you're speaking, if you want to be fluent, you haven't got time to think about the grammar, but wait a minute, I have to think whether it's the second condition or the third condition, I can't remember. It's not good. So the way I do grammar, I always try to, apart from very few things which are impossible, but there is always some logic behind it. So if you follow the logic, it's a lot easier to understand the grammar. Oh, thank you, Mario. Thank you. Um, for example, if you think about it, of course, in English, you have to repeat the subject, because if you don't repeat the subject, you don't know who is doing what, because English has become an inflected language, while Italian is completely the opposite. I can say, if you say vai, I know exactly va, I know that must be lui or lei. While in English, if I say something like walked, could be I walked, you walked, he walked. And so, of course, if you, instead of learning rules apart from the inversion, for example, which again, the inversion, you will see that the difficult inversion is only used in very, very formal style. And so you don't need it, because there is always another way to say exactly the same thing, avoiding the inversion. So anyway, this is what we're doing now. I'm going to open it up. Okay. Okay, this is the summary of the summary. Okay. Okay, ultra concise summary with inversion. Remember, let's start from here. Inversion, the meaning of the inversion is when you put the verb before the subject. You know that last lesson, if I remember correctly, we were talking about English, and I told you that the sort of the order of an English sentence is swapped. Okay, subject, verb, object, manner, place, and time. And now here we are with inversion. The inversion is when the verb, goes before the subject. Okay, let's see. When do I have this? Also for French. When do I have these things? In questions, okay? Because again, I need to show you that I'm asking a question. Well, okay, think about the Italian. In Italian, very often you read something, a long sentence, at the very end of the long sentence, you find a question mark, and you have to go back to the beginning to give the correct intonation. For example, hai visto che bella giornata l'altro ieri? And then when you see, you reach the question marks, hai visto che bella, you have to rephrase it so the intonation is correct to give the question. In English, you don't need this, because you know immediately whether there is a question or not a question, okay? You have the inversion after certain fixed expression, and informal written English for emphasis. For this number 3, remember that there is always the way to avoid it. You just rephrase it and it's fine. Okay, let's see when it's common. Questions with auxiliaries, modals, semi-modals. Have you seen? You see, I know the question because I start with a verb. Are they working? Do you like him? Can you hear me? Will you marry me? Does she come? This is a semi-modal. After neither, nor, and so. If I say, I don't like Bob, I can say, neither do I. I can swim, so can I. Okay, so after neither, nor, and so, usually in answers, you do the inversion. Exclamation. Isn't she? There was a song, do you remember? Isn't she lovely? And so, isn't it cold? Am I fed up? Okay, exclamations. To very often they are sort of semi-questions. Okay, so isn't it cold? Is an exclamation, but at the same time I'm asking you a question. Here and there, at the beginning, you know that, but remember when the subject is a noun. If I say, here comes Joe, there goes the bus, here's your key, there's the book on the table. You see that Joe, the bus, the key. I start the sentence with here and there. In Italian we say ecco che se ne va il bus, ecco che arriva Joe. In English you say here comes, there goes, and you do the inversion. But remember, Joe, the bus, they're kind of nice long words. Instead, if you have very short words like little pronouns, well, you don't do the inversion. Here she comes, because the sentence sounds better, because she is so short. There they are. There it comes. But think, if I said, here comes she. It's very difficult to say. There are they. It sounds odd because the word is very short and so it goes back to its place. Okay, there she goes. Okay, now this is a very long chapter. Remember that I start now and I tell you that if you don't like it, there you are. Here I am, Nicoletta. If you don't like this inversion, just use it in written English. It's extremely formal. You use it for emphasis in public speeches just to attract the attention, but you don't really need to use it, okay? So, we saw it last time. Do you remember? This what happened, the sentence we had with, I think it was Tom Cruise, started all off. So had, should, were plus subject instead of the if clause. Had I known what was going to happen, I would never have left her alone. What's wrong with if I had known? There is nothing wrong with if I had known. But if you want to be very formal, you having your speech, you're talking in front of it, you got your audience and you want to put a little bit of emphasis, or you're writing a book, why not? Should you need a hand? If you need a hand, or if you should need a hand, exactly the same. After as, she traveled a lot, as did most of her friends. But you could say she traveled a lot and most of her friends did too, or like most of her friends, she traveled a lot. So why not? Bob wants to leave now, as does Bill. Bob wants to leave now, and Bill does too. Okay, then you have certain expressions. Usually remember these expressions are negative, like they always have inside the words like no, not, okay? They come at the beginning for emphasis. So if they come at the beginning for emphasis and you don't like them, you move them somewhere else. And so you can avoid doing the inversion. If I say under no circumstances can you inform the staff, okay? You can't inform the staff about that under no circumstances. You just put it at the end and you're fine. Not a sound could be heard in the church. In no way could I help you. I won't be able to help you. I won't be able to help you in any way. Why not? So you see, all these are expressions, and they're all negative. And if you put them at the beginning of the sentence, you need the inversion. So you have seldom, rarely, never, never have I felt better. I've never felt better in my life. You can always rephrase it. Hardly, barely, when and before. Hardly had I arrived when the doorbell rang again. No sooner than or even little with a negative meaning. Little did he know what was coming. But remember that, you see, they're always negative. Then you have only plus time expressions, okay? Time is only after, only if, only when, only then. Remember, they need to be at the beginning. If you put them somewhere else, you don't need the inversion. Only after a year did I begin to understand. Only when Bob had left did she sit down. Okay, you see, you could say, for example, only if everybody agreed would I accept this position. It's the same. I would only accept this position if everybody agreed. So if you're talking, if you're not in front of an audience and you want to attract attention for some reason, if you're not writing a particular book and you want to change your style, don't use it, okay? Because it can sound a bit too much. You can use not until, not since. Not until I saw him did I really believe. Not since Lucy left college has she had such a wonderful time. That's all fine. Okay. These are the important things. That's the reason why I underline them. Note that in all these structures, the negative expression can be placed later in the sentence without inversion. I had seldom seen such a remarkable creature. I had hardly arrived when the doorbell rang. I prefer this. This is better. I only began to see the result after several months. I would only accept this position if everybody agreed. Okay, and we only use in the inversion when the adverb modified the whole phrase, the whole sentence, not just a word. Okay, hardly anyone passed the exam. You see, hardly is just modifying anyone, not the whole sentence. So relax with inversion. Okay, you can have it with place expressions. Again, descriptive and narrative writing. Okay. You don't need to use do and did. You don't need to use the indicators. On a hill stood a great, but even in Italian, sometimes you use lassù sulla collina si ergeva un castello. Invece che un castello si ergeva lassù sulla collina. It gives a bit more emphasis and it's a bit more poetic. On the table was all the money. But normal sentence, all the money was on the table. Yeah, very, very poetic. Again, you can use it in you're writing a book. And you can quite happily say, and you probably, this is more common, you read it in books very often. It's time to go, said Susan. I disagree, replied Gary. This is very common in literature, in books. You read a book, and when there is a sort of people talking, very often said Bill, said Susan, replied Gary, and etc. But remember, when there are pronouns, you don't do it. I've had enough. Let's go, said Bill. Who's paying? I shouted. Again, I think my idea is because they are too short, and so I don't want to move them. Inversion instead of if in conditional. This is a repetition of the beginning. I just gave you more sentences so you can have a look at the normal conditional. If I had been there, this problem wouldn't have happened. Conditional with inversion, had I been there, this problem wouldn't have happened. Normal, if we had arrived sooner, we could have prevented this tragedy. Conditional with inversion, had we arrived sooner. But you see, you really need kind of two emphasis. And the last one, and then this is the summary, after so plus adjective that. So beautiful, this, don't use it if you can. So beautiful was the girl that nobody could talk of anything else. But you see, you put it at the beginning. You need this at the beginning. Because if you move it, the girl was so beautiful that nobody could talk of anything else. And so delicious was the food that we ate every last bite. Normal sentence, the food was so delicious that we ate every last bite. So remember, the first bit up to, okay, inversion is common in, this is the law. Okay, this has to be done. Number two, the inversion in written English. The good thing is that you know is there. When you read something, you can read without saying, oh, why are they doing that? You know, you read it, you appreciate the style. If you really like it and you want to become a writer, you can use it. If you one day you're called because you need to give a speech and you want to use it. But otherwise, avoid it because it's a bit too much. It's too formal, okay? And I think this one, some more examples, and that's it. End of story. Is it clear? Okay, so when in doubt, avoid it. Otherwise, use it, but only remember is extremely, extremely, extremely formal. Now, if you want, we can do one hero, and then we can see what time is it. Gosh, time is flying when you're having fun. Okay, students. And right. Okay, so I'll move you there. Again, this one and this one. Okay. So we're having this week's mix of heroes and villains includes an anonymous hero, a flock of sheep, a restaurant, and someone with a lot of spare time. Okay, so let's start with number one. Listen to the recording, correct the mistakes and or omissions, and then answer the questions. Okay. Remember, I found myself when I do this thing, I read the text and then I start looking at the words, which might be difficult for students. And when I do the news, it's always the same stuff. When I do this, the vocabulary is increasing, the pronunciation again. I get more words, and so it gives me more satisfaction. So, first of all, just listen. Here I explain the name of the restaurant is pronounced Anishir, rhymes with sunny sphere, and the name is Welsh, meaning Long Island or Long Meadow. Do you know what a meadow is? Yeah, it's a sort of a field. A meadow usually you see a field with some wild flowers and etc. That's a meadow. While the lawn instead is the one you have in behind in the back garden, manicured with the it's meadow and field are sort of wild, while the lawn is manicured and you keep the grass and you have it cut and etc. Okay. The lawn, not necessarily giardino condominiale, the lawn, you know that in Great Britain there are, okay, apart from the big cities, but even in big cities, you have your small flat and the back garden. Okay, so even in the back garden, you can have your lawn. Or if you have a house, you have a lawn, il prato della casa. Curato, that's the lawn, while meadow and fields are outside. Okay, now first listen and start looking at all the mistakes, and then I repeat it and stop.
This week's mix of heroes and villains includes an anonymous hero, a flock of sheep, a restaurant, and someone with a lot of spare time. The first villain this...
Is it too loud? Okay.
Sheep, a restaurant, and someone with a lot of spare time. The first villain this week is the only restaurant in Wales with 2 Michelin stars, which has been awarded a 1-star hygiene rating by food safety officers. Unis Here Restaurant and Rooms, where meals start at £468 a head, was told its cleanliness and food safety practices needed improvement. Chef patron Gareth Ward says the inspectors clearly weren't au fait with his cutting-edge approach to raw fish and salted meat. Or perhaps he just forgot to take the bins out.
Okay. I'm going to repeat this so you correct all the mistakes I made.
Spare time. The first villain this week is the only restaurant in Wales.
Very good. So is not online, but is only.
Restaurant in Wales with 2 Michelin stars.
Yes, so I'll put it here. 2.
With 2 Michelin stars, which has been awarded a 1-star hygiene rate.
Very good.
Here, restaurant and rooms where meals start at £468 a head
Wait, I'll...
was told it's by food safety officers.
No.
And is here
Sorry.
2 Michelin stars.
Okay, managed.
The first villain this week is the only restaurant in Wales with 2 Michelin stars, which has been awarded a 1-star hygiene rating by food.
Yes, very good. Rating.
Safety officers. And is here restaurant and rooms where meals start at £468 a head.
Yes. So 468, very good.
A head was told its cleanliness and food safety practices needed improvement.
Very good, yes, so, and food safety practices.
And food safety practices needed improvement. Chef patron Gareth Ward.
Yes.
Says the inspectors clearly weren't au fait with his cutting-edge approach to raw fish.
Very good. Approach. Okay.
Weren't au fait with his cutting-edge approach to raw fish and salted meat. Or perhaps
salted.
Fish and salted meat. Or perhaps he just forgot to take the bins out.
Yeah. What's cockroach? What's a cockroach? Yeah, that's, you know where it comes from? Do you know where the word cockroach comes from? From Spanish. Cucaracha. Cucaracha, cucaracha, cockroach. Very often in English there are a lot of expressions and words which are sort of come from misinterpreting what has been said in a foreign language. For example, even this is the most famous. Mayday. Mayday, Mayday. Do you know where it comes from? Yeah. From French. Mayday. And there are a lot. And next lesson, I'll dig them out. They're very interesting because Yes, you're right, Federica. Yeah, I'm not particularly fond of cockroaches. I really kind of, I don't like them. Right, so you understood. You tell me whether it's true or false. So I can't remember how to, so is Annie's here restaurant and rooms and lost one of his Michelin stars. Is it true or false? It's no, it's got two Michelin stars, and okay, but it's been awarded a one-star hygiene rating, so it's false. He hasn't lost his Michelin star. It's just got one for because it's dirty, basically, or they found it the standards were not too good. Food safety officers praised its hygiene standards. Definitely they didn't, because they complained about it. And the chef believes inspectors did not understand this modern culinary style. Yes, it is true. He didn't take it too well. So this hygiene rating suggests the restaurant met all standards, needs improvement, is closing permanently, lost its Michelin stars. Yeah. And the chef's reaction implies he felt apologetic, confused, misunderstood, or indifferent. He was misunderstood, poor guy. And now let's go with the vocabulary quiz. Is it true or false? Safety is generally about preventing hazards, while security is about defending against threats. In Italian, there is only one word. It is true. Safety, for example, you in the car, you have safety belts. But if you feel threatened, you call security. Okay. So remember, security, there is a threat, and you call security and you put the alarms. So if someone wants to come into your flat, for example, you put the alarm on. But safety, if there is a fire, or you get, for example, a watering system in the flat, and that's for safety. This chef patron is a chef that owns a restaurant, or a regular customer to a restaurant, or a restaurant investor, or a cook in a hotel. Yeah. One thing, remember that if you just use patron, can be a regular customer, can be called a patron. Okay, or someone who invests, and the setter could be a patron, but the chef patron is only the one who owns the restaurant. This word, I'm not pronouncing it again because I hope you can forget, because I'm asking you later on, means bored with, familiar with, fully informed, or confused by. B, 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 and C. Yes, it's B and also C. Yeah, you're familiar with something, or you're fully informed. Cutting edge, with a bit of stress on the first one, means stubbornly traditional. Stubborn means you don't give up. Very blunt, extremely risky, or highly innovative. Very good. raw. Of food, not cooked. Of materials in a natural state. Of liquid turned into ice, frozen. Part of the body, red and painful. Okay, A, B, B, A. Okay, definitely raw. Raw fish, sushi. Raw material, definitely not for the liquid, but for example, you cut yourself or you scratch your skin against something, it can become red and painful, and you can say, oh, it's really raw. You look at the wound and it looks really painful or really red, you can describe it as raw. Bins. Bins are kitchen knives, containers for rubbish, trays, storage. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember how to pronounce this word in British English? Not in Italian, because in Italian it's pronounced completely different. Is it M? Well, is it Michelin or Michelin? Which of the two? In English, not in Italian. It's this one. Remember, in English is Michelin. Okay? Michelin Guide is not Michelin. This is Italian. So in British English, if you say Michelin, no one would understand you. Okay, so go for the A. True or false, this word has two syllables and the stress is on the first syllable. Yeah, why not? Hygiene. Yeah, the stress is here and has two syllables. Okay, the EA in this word is pronounced E as in sea, E as in head, I as in ship, or as in above. No. Is this. This is the correct. And there is a saying which says, cleanliness is next to godliness. It's pronounced cleanliness, as in head. Okay, so it's B. And the saying is cleanliness is next to godliness. So if you're clean and tidy and etc., it's perfection basically. And we have number 4. This word, the T is silent and the final sound is A as in day. Is it true? So do I pronounce it O, Fay? Yeah. Very often, French words like ballet, gourmet, buffet, when they end with a T, in English you forget about the T and you put the sound A. Yeah, ballet, buffet, gourmet, and etc. And the grammar quiz. Yes, we can squeeze in the grammar quiz. The restaurant has been criticized. Which preposition? No, sorry, the first one. Sorry. Excuse me, teachers, there are two to verify our pronunciation in real time. Yes, I'll send you, Antonio. For example, if you look on the Free Dictionary or the Cambridge Dictionary, I'll send you the links. There is always a way, and then there is also a site where you have the proper pronunciation and the international phonetics spelling. So I will send. I will remember and send it to you in the email I'm sending on Sunday, or if I got time, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but if you look on any dictionary like the Cambridge or the Free Dictionary, and you know that I sent to everybody online tools. In the first letter I sent to you, the one with the online tools, the Webster very often is for American English pronunciation, while the Cambridge is more British English pronunciation. If you go onto the online tools, the first document I sent to you when you subscribed, you'll find links. But anyway, I'll send it to you. So if the chef, this is, let's do a little bit conditional. So if the chef got the bins out, inspectors, blah, blah, more satisfied. So someone says B, someone says, okay, well, very good. I can say, if the chef now takes the bins out, inspector tomorrow, perfectly correct. So this is correct. Let's have a look at this one. If the chef had taken the bins out, inspectors might have been. Why not? Very good. If the chef took the bins out, inspector would be. Perfectly correct. And of course, also this one is correct. So basically, they're all correct. Again, the meaning is completely different because this is the first conditional. This is the second conditional. Both these ones is the third condition, the one which never materialized. If he had taken, but he didn't. And again, if he had taken, but he didn't. Here, instead, we have plenty of chances that if he takes it, there will be. If he took, it's a bit more conditional, but they're all correct. The restaurant has been criticized. Criticized, preposition, criticized for. If you say the restaurant has been criticized by the inspectors, but not by the hygiene rating, cannot criticize anything, because you see, I need something or someone which can criticize hygiene rating, and then there is it's. So it's wrong. He insisted he was familiar. Would you say familiar, unfamiliar with, familiar regarding, or familiar about? Familiar with. Very good. Well, I'm going to send you all this for you to do at home. Again, remember that you find, do you know what a sleuth is? You know, a sleuth? A detective. So we had this Sholto David, listen to it, fill in the blanks and do, or remember, do it it's good exercise for you. Okay, then you see the pronunciation here of the various words, grammar quiz, and here there is a little joke. Do you know, in English, remember, what do sheep do? Do they go, the noise, they go ba, okay? So this sheep went into a shop because they were looking for a bargain. So this is a joke, and you can enjoy the joke, okay? Remember that noises animal make in English are different to the noises. In Italian, a dog goes bow. In English, a dog goes woof. And the cat meow. And in Italian, sheep go bear, but in English go ba. Okay, and that's the reason why you get the bargain. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Next, I'm going to send you everything as soon as I can. And let me, okay. If you need anything, write to me. Next week, we can do the famous passive with...
Okay.
with,
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
Good night.
So,
Bye.
good night.
Good night, Julia.
Have a nice evening, and good night to everybody.
Night. Good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice evening.